Good evening, fuckers. We are back with the next Train Simulator Classic request video. And this one is a request from MikkDC. I'll give you a few minutes to get over the immense shock of that one. Right, that's long enough. So the route is one that we have done before, but yeah, not in this direction. So it is the Settle to Carlisle route, but we are going the other way. We're starting at Carlisle, with the destination being Settle. I've been given free rein as far as like which stations we're stopping at. We're only going to stop at one, which is Ribblehead. No surprise there. Now, to put it mildly, this is a bit of an unusual sort of route and loco combination, because the loco is the class 222 Meridian. Now, the Voyager class locos, you see them all over the place. If there's a main line or an expressway, you're always going to see, like, you know, one of the 220 series on there. However, this line is not a main line or an expressway. I'm pretty sure the maximum speed on this line is 70. So yeah, there is no way you would ever see a high-speed train of any kind on this line at all. And well, we are probably going to be doing, you know, barely over 50% of the like max speed this train can do. This is a 125 mph train we're in. 4-car, because if I made it any bigger than 4-car, it wouldn't stand a chance of being able to get all of the carriages on any of the stations, which is another reason why we're only going to stop at one along the way. So yeah, it is a bit of a strange one. If that wasn't enough, yeah, the livery that this loco or this train is using is East Midlands. Carlisle to Settle, East Midlands, yeah. Okay, so anyway, the specifics: it's summer, it's clear, because this is a really good scenic route, so we want to be able to see the scenery well. It's 2:30 because, yeah. So that is the setup anyway. Let's get this up and running. Yeah, nice fast loading one, this. So here we are in our 222. The great trains, the 222s. So we are here at Carlisle station. Our destination Settle is 71.39 miles away, but look at the ETA. So it's going to take us an hour and 45 minutes to do less than 72 miles. Yeah, the speed limits on the line is really playing its part there. So right, let's get this up and running. So first thing, bung in the old master key, and then we need to set the thing to neutral, cancel the self-test. Now we can put it into forward. Right, let's sort out the lights. We want daylight with headlights, so yep, that is fine. Okay, I think we are pretty much done. No, we also want instrument lights on, of course we do. I've got to remember where they are. They're here. Alright, here we go. Alright, instrument lights on. We don't need cab lights, we're fine there. Right, I'll remember to turn off DRA, and I will also, yeah, that shuts off the really annoying driver vigilance thing. So, right, we are now very much all set. We'll take one last look. Actually, we'll also let the passengers on and off. Or we would if I could remember remember the key to open the fucking doors. Right, where are we? Where's the door open? Yeah, I think the door open is only done by the keyboard controls, and I thought it was U, but it's not. Is it O? No. Right, well, no one's getting on or off them because I can't remember the keys. That's modern driver training for you. Okay, we are all set. Let's get underway. So, yep, top speed of the Class 222 is 125 mph, as you can see up here. And as I mentioned earlier, we are not going to be doing anything like that sort of speed on this run at any point. I am quite sure the top speed is 70 on this line. I mean, if I'm proven wrong, I'll gladly take it, but I know we are certainly not going anywhere near three figures. Yeah, there's a lot of sort of gradients that seem to appear from nowhere. So yeah, we are picking up speed here. I mean, we are on a 1 in 174 downhill, and because we're only trundling along at less than 20 mph at the moment, it means that yeah, we are picking up speed. It's now 1 in 120, so yeah. But once we've actually managed to get a little bit of distance between us and Carlisle, then yeah, all this poncing about will be over and done with. So we're now on a 50 mph stretch. I don't want to put too much speed on because, as you can see, we have 20 mph coming up. I don't know if that's because we're going over points or if it's because we've got a very sharp curve coming up. In fact, it could be both. Yeah, so 20 pointing there, so yeah, we are going over points and we are taking quite a sharp curve here. Okay, maybe it's not so sharp after all. But I think we need to get around this curve before we can accelerate to 60. I don't think it will take us up to 60 as soon as the entire train has passed the points, not least because we have now well and truly passed the points and we're still on a 20 mph section. So okay, so we're entering the 60 zone now. There we go. Let's bung it all the way up. So for a diesel multiple unit, okay, diesel electric multiple unit, this thing has fantastic acceleration. It does put the 800 series, when that's in diesel mode, it really does put that to shame. The 222 is a bit of a sort of like enigma. It's a fantastic high-speed train, and yet there are far more 220s and 221s that operate on the British networks compared to 222s. And initially, when you look at it, it's hard to see why. It's faster. Its reliability is fantastic. Of all the high-speed trains in operation in the UK, it always comes out top on the passenger satisfaction surveys. Always comes out on top. So you'd think it would be used far more frequently than the 220 and the 221. But of course, we are talking about privatised rail companies here. So, yep, there is only one reason why the 222 is not used more often than the 220 and the 221. That reason, yep, money. It is the most expensive of the Voyager series to order and to manufacture. It's also the least fuel efficient, but its emissions are well within the emissions target. In fact, that's the same right across the board with the Voyager series. But yeah, buying the trains in, running costs, and so therefore, yeah, you've got to make do with trains that are not as good. Now, that is not saying that the 220 and the 221s are, no good. They are great trains. But the 222 is better than both of them. But that really is saying more about how great the 222 is than how bad those other two are, because yeah, none of the Voyagers, the Super Voyager or the Meridian here, none of them are bad trains by any stretch. One thing is for sure though, you will certainly never see one on this line. So yeah, we're currently in a 60 zone, and I do have a feeling that we are on the fastest part of this route. So that does mean that at no point on this run are we going to be doing even 50% of this train's maximum speed. Now, I do have to admit as well that this request has thrown a bit of a spanner in the works, because as you may or may not be aware, we are fast approaching the 100th of these request videos. I can scarcely believe I'm saying those words, but it is true. And I've had a few ideas as to what to do for the 100th. And one of them, and I was thinking, yeah, this is almost certainly going to be the one that I'll do, was going to feature the 222, because I was absolutely convinced that it would be making its debut. I was quite surprised that I got this request to see it, especially on this line. So the fact that it has now appeared means that yeah, if I was to do it in the 100th, there wouldn't really be anything particularly special about it, because it's a loco you've already seen. So I'm going to have to rethink that one. Now, like I say, I had like 2 or 3 ideas for it. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Now, a lot of the really great scenery on this route, yeah, sort of shows up as we are nearer to Settle. Although that said, I mean, we've still got some great views here, because we are pretty much on the outskirts of the Lake District. I think Carlisle, yeah, pretty much as soon as we leave Carlisle, we are in the Lake District. So, you know, it's got some of the best views that England has to offer. I mean, admittedly, yeah, it doesn't compare to, you know, the best views that Wales or Scotland have to offer, but nevertheless, it is still pretty impressive. I mean, look at that. Magnificent stuff. So in that regard, the fact that this line has quite a low sort of like max speed is not a problem, because it gives you more time to you know, admire the fantastic scenery. It's one of the reasons why I am really keen to do in real life, not in the game. Well, I'll do it in the game, but yeah, in real life, do the Carlisle line and take the trip from Inverness to Carlisle Lockhouse, because the scenery on that route must be absolutely glorious, and I would be very keen to see it. Yeah, I didn't realise until too late that we were speeding. So yeah, this 1 in 133 section is giving us a few headaches. So Armouthwaite Station is coming up. We'll be well, we'll be going through it. I can hardly say we're going to be tearing through it at 60 mph, but so now we are going uphill. But yeah, the power that this train has means that yeah, it's absolutely no problem picking up speed, even in just notch 1. So here we are at Armouthwaite Station. Yeah, it looks like the platform is just long enough for us to get all 4 carriages on there, so I'm hoping that will be the case with most of these stations. Well, I say that, I mean, as long as it's okay at one of them, yeah, it's alright. So yeah, as much as I like the 222, I am now already utterly convinced that this was a terrible choice of train for this this run. Yeah, clearly 60 mph is the maximum we are going to be doing on this entire trip. yeah, this isn't going to really tax me as far as like actually driving this train, that is for sure. I'm pretty sure this entire route is going to be punctuated by rather short tunnels. If they're short, I don't mind them. So I have done routes like this before where the choice has been a route that I think is really great, and I do really like this route. And the choice of loco is great, and I do really like the 222. But combining the two was not such a great idea. In fact, I think there's been like about 3 or 4 such routes, but unsurprisingly, I can't remember any of them offhand. Yeah, this way definitely has the better scene. So, Lazenby and Kirkoswald is the next station. We'll just go straight through there. In fact, no. We'll stop there. Give us the chance to take in some of the scenery, and also gives me a reason to be able to take us up to full throttle for a bit as well. So yeah. So late change of plan. We went through that first station. I can't remember the name of it. Something Thwaite. It's not Basson Thwaite, but yeah, you know the one. But we'll stop at all the rest. Almost looks like this was once a train depot. Yeah, we've got the whole train on the platform. In fact, we've managed it quite easily. Right, now, can we open the doors here though? That's the big question. Yes, we can. Look at that. Magnificent. So, speaking of magnificent, look at that view. I mean, I realise that graphically, yes, this game is nowhere near the level of, you know, Train Sim World 6, but I still think they look great. Yeah, brakes take a little bit to come down, but once they are down, we are fine. I may have pulled away a little bit early. That was close. So yeah, it doesn't take this train long to reach the maximum speed of this line. So Settle is now a mere 55 miles away. According to the ETA, it's still going to take us an hour and 15 minutes. It looks like the more scenic views are now on this side. We're not going to get trackside view just yet. Right, our next stop is fast approaching, well, relatively fast approaching. So that, well, we got another disused station here. No idea which one this is. But Langwasby, however it's pronounced, is our next stop. About 1.25 miles along the line. Yeah, we're going up a 1 in 110 gradient, which is why our speed is dropping off quite a bit, but considering we're stopping at this station, I'm quite happy to let it continue to do so. We'll just keep coasting. Okay, do need to brake a little bit. We are approaching a bit fast. Not by much though. but we are now on a downhill section as well, so yeah, we are going to pick up some speed. So in fact, probably need to brake a bit harder than I actually am. Or a lot harder than I actually am. There we are, the whole train on the platform again. So yep, along Westbury. Very much a small old village. No wonder the stop here was quite short. The brakes off. In fact, the brakes are not going to come off until I've got us up into here we go. So in fact, I think the brakes don't come off until the guard has given the signal. Well, at least that stops me from doing what I nearly did for a second time there and pull away before I should have done. In fact, when the guard signals me there, I am supposed to send a signal back, but I think the fact that we start moving is also a pretty good indication that I am ready to leave. Aha, we get the trackside view. This is definitely the best view. I think it's fair to say that yeah, that tunnel we just went through wasn't quite rendered right. Disused station, a very small platform. Clearly that's Colgate station though. Even I can figure that one out. There are plenty of lines in this game where when I'm driving on them, it amazes me that they've not been electrified. This is certainly not one of them. You can certainly see why it's not been electrified. As far as I'm aware, it's still running. I don't think this line has been closed. But it's certainly not a main line of any kind, and yeah, I can't imagine that it's one that gets it doesn't suffer from being overused. That's not to dismiss it though, because I can't imagine the people of Settle or any of the villages along the route here would ever be happy to see the line go if it is still up and running. So you have a speed reduction coming up in just under 1.5 miles down to 30, because obviously it's far too fast at the moment. I'm quite happy to let it continue, the speed continue to drop off as we're coasting. So we are passing this. Now this is the, yeah, when we last did this line, I got this completely wrong because I thought it was a power station. In fact, it could be something like a mine, it could be something like a cement factory or something. But yeah, it's clearly not a power station. Rather overdid it with the speed reduction there. So we're into the 30 zone. It does last less than a mile, which I'm rather glad about, and then we can go back up to 60 again. Genuinely have no idea why this section of the line is, yeah, has this 30 mph speed limit on it. Doesn't make a great deal of sense to me. And the only thing I can think of is that it's older track and can't put up, you know, can't cope with any sort of like decent speed. But I mean, even if that's the case, I mean, standard rails now can put up with certainly 60, so yeah, it can't be that. Anyway, we're now in a 60 zone. Let's give it some full beans, not for very long, but at least we'll be able to for a bit. That is a great sound. It almost rivals the Class 43. Almost. Another station, and it is Sir Humphrey Appleby. I'm sure people of a certain vintage will remember that name from the greatest sitcom ever written. Okay, we can start coasting a bit now. We will be going downhill as we approach Appleby Station, so well, hopefully it's not going to affect us too much. 1 in 192. I mean, it could do, but we'll be fine. I mean, we started braking, we're still over half a mile away, so yeah. In fact, by the standards of the area, this looks like a fairly major sort of, well, village. It's certainly not big enough to be a town, but it's a fair size platform on this station. You shouldn't have any problems getting the entire train on this platform. I really didn't need to put it into full service brakes, but nevertheless here we are. So yeah. So here is Appleby Station, and we will be here for a very short while. Well, I say that, doors are still open. There's a lot, yeah, much longer stop than I thought it would be. There we go. Now this time we will wait for the guards to let us know. There we go. And I'm supposed to signal back. Give them some full thrash as we leave. So while the people of Appleby are wondering why the fucking hell a 222 has turned up at their station, at least they have a reason to be glad that it did. Certainly here when it changed gear there. Okay, so yeah, back to trundling along at 60. Yeah, on a 1 in 183 downhill section, so even though we are losing speed still, we're losing it at a much slower rate than usual, which is fine. Settle is now less than 40 miles away. One of many impressive viaducts on this route. Okay, so now we're on a 1 in 100. So yeah, I think we definitely need to throttle up a bit. Yeah, it's still gaining speed even in notch 1. I've said in numerous videos, I say it pretty much every time we're in an HST, the torque figures for HSTs are not fantastic because they're all about getting the speed up. You know, they got quite high gear ratios, but the torque figures for this thing are not bad at all, considering it is again geared for high speed. They've not done it at the expense of like the torque values, so going up a 1 in 100, we're only in notch 1 and we are still gaining speed. But for an HST, that's fantastic going. It looks like this uphill section goes on for a fair bit. So the uphill section is now starting to level out slightly. Only slightly, it's still 1 in 166. The speed in which, or the rate in which our speed drops is nothing like as slow as it was. And we are gaining speed at a much better rate than we were. Now, I must admit I was recently considering another train simulator live stream, although whether it actually goes ahead or not, I'm not too sure. I wasn't exactly blown away with the enthusiasm over the possibility of another train simulator live stream. So yeah, it's still undecided, shall we say. If I was to do it, I can't do the full run that I kept saying I would do for the second one, because yeah, I did keep saying it was going to be Paddington to Penzance. Well, I'm one DLC short, but I can do Paddington to Plymouth, which is certainly a fair old distance. Or failing that, I could make it Paddington to Cardiff. So I've got options. So Kirkby Stephen is the next stop. It looks like a very small station. Be interested to see if I can actually get the whole train on there. So we'll start coasting. We're on a 1 in 100 uphill section again, so yeah, our speed is certainly going to come down at a pretty good old rate. So we will just coast for a bit. We're still as near as, damn it, a mile away from there, so get us down to high 30s. Yeah, this is a very small station. I very much doubt we'll get the whole train on here. I'll tell you what, there's a lot more on there than I thought. In fact, we have been able to do it. I'm very surprised at that. So, yep, here we are at Kirkby Stephen. Very small station for a very small village that we can't even, well, we can barely see it. Yeah, a couple of houses down there, looks like that's about it. It's more like Hamlet. Sort of stations I would expect to see in, you know, Scottish Highland lines rather than here. Wait for the signal. And I'll even respond to it. Here we go. Give them full thrash treatment again. On a 1 in 100. Thankfully this loco has really good anti-wheel slip protection, because I'm pretty sure we would have been wheel slipping like fuck only knows what. A very distinctive change of gear there. At 60 for a brief period, but yeah, we're still on this 1 in 100 uphill climb, so our speed is going to drop off very quickly once I have us coasting again. So I'm fairly certain the next stop will be Ribblehead. Okay, so we're still going uphill, but it's yeah, nowhere near as steep. It's now only a 1 in 330, so we are not losing speed at anything like the rate we were. But it is about to get quite a bit steeper once we pass the next signal. So I'll coast this bit until we get to that signal, and then we'll give it some power as we are on the 97 now, 1 in 97 uphill. We definitely need to and we are still gaining speed at just notch 1, so yeah, torque figures on this engine must be pretty impressive. There are freight specialist trains that would struggle with this. I mean, admittedly we haven't exactly got a lot of weight to this train. It is only a 4 car, and all 4 cars are powered. I'm pretty sure with the class 222s, each unit has 750 horsepower. So this 4 car train has 3,000 horsepower at its disposal. That was close. Yeah, we have a few viaducts in a row around here. Well, this next one is actually one that's going over us. Admittedly, the viaducts are obviously not as strong as modern bridges, which is why they have to be built in that way. Architecturally, they are so much more impressive than any of the modern bridges. Just got that one as well. We just reached level ground, which is why yeah, we suddenly started accelerating at a much faster rate. Okay, so the next station is Carlisle. So once again, my powers of prediction as sharp as ever. We are actually gaining speed now. We're on a 1 in 165 downhill section. Really do not need to be braking to, for the station just yet. It's still over a mile away. According to the ETA, we've still got half an hour before we reach Settle, which is just under 21 miles. Got to take a look at this magnificent viaduct here as we are approaching Carlisle. I don't think we'll have any trouble getting the whole train on this platform. This one looks relatively long. I'll say that, and I've come in braking a bit too easily. So yeah, we'll have to do full service braking, but yeah, we've done it. No problem. So, Carlisle station, again, very small, not even a village, it's a hamlet. A very quick stop as well. Just going to say, nothing from the guard. Guard probably was thinking, what's the point of signalling? He just pulls away when he feels like it anyway. And then decided, fuck it, I might as well attempt to do my job. Such a glorious sound. So we are approaching a very slight downhill section. Yeah, 1 in 330. So slight, it's not really having any effect on our acceleration or deceleration, but anyway, surely Ribblehead is the next station now. We're less than 19 miles from Settle. We have a 30 mph speed limit coming up. That's because, yep, once again, Powers of prediction. So East Dent is the next station. You can tell I know the area well. I mean, I've been to the Lake District several times, but the last time we did, or I did anything other than get driven through it, I was about 7 years old, if that. And the most overwhelming thing that I remember, or you know, the most vivid memory of that trip that I remember, is that we were going to Scotland. Well, we did go to Scotland, and we got there and it was raining, so my old man turned back. Now I'm sure my memories must be sort of like playing sort of tricks on me or something, or I'm not remembering it accurately, but that is how it really does feel to me. That's what happened. Going to Scotland, it was raining, so we turned round and came back, and we ended up, yeah, staying in some sort of like hotel. It was more like a lodge in yeah, in the Lake District. It was a fantastic place. It was a really nice hotel, but the one thing that I remember about it is that the Carsey was blocked. A very small station on a curve. I think we'll be able to get the whole train on here though. Yeah, not a problem. I say that looked like the doors didn't open. No, doors are open. Okay, so the doors have opened on the rear carriages, but not the front ones. Okay, so they've closed. Again, wait for the signal, because I may as well pretend that I know what I'm doing. It's sometime today, please. Ah, fuck off, you useless cunt. Right, let's go. So we can't absolutely tear out of the station at full speed because we're still in a 30 zone. And now we're in the 60. In fact, while we're still in the low gear, it sounds very much like notch 3 has us at full power. Obviously it wouldn't now. Have a pretty impressive viaduct coming up. It's not the Ribblehead viaduct though, so there's even more impressive a structure to come, but this is still quite something. was almost inevitable that I was going to, yeah, not pay attention to the speedo once too often. Another viaduct fast approaching. And when you consider that it took them years to build each one of these viaducts, anybody who then would turn around and say, oh yeah, we're going to close this line now, it's no wonder they were getting fucking lynched, and they deserved it. Total disregard to, you know, for the amount of work that went into building this thing. As well as total disregard for, you know, the impacts that it's going to have on the people who live out in places like this. It looks like we are about to hit quite a steep downhill section. As we reach, is it Bleemore or is it Bleermore? Bleer sounds closer to it. So we are now, yeah, 1 in 100 downhill section. So we are gaining speed. So we're not going to increase throttle yet. And we've got to slow down in just over a mile, down to 30. Yeah, I'm braking a bit too early there. So we are now in the 30 mph zone. I mean, this curve is certainly not the reason why we're down to 30. There are several points we're going over as we come down to single line. And Ribblehead is 1 mile away. I think, yeah, coming from this direction we are going over the Ribblehead viaduct before we get to the station. And the station really is out in the middle of nowhere. I remember saying this in the previous video on this route, and I think it was Life School who replied in the comments and suggested that the station could well have been originally built for the workmen who are out here building this thing, because this thing, I think it took about 4 years. So yeah, originally the station was built for, you know, the workmen to get here, and then it stayed because the tourist attraction. So there you go, see Ribblehead viaduct. This is a very small station, very staggered platforms, but I think again, yeah, we can certainly get the whole train on here. So, yep, here we are, Ribblehead Station. Absolutely out in the middle of nowhere. Aside from the station buildings, I cannot see any other buildings anywhere. Oh, okay, yeah, there's that one there. Was that it? Right. See if the guard will actually signal us this time. Well, we are going to be hitting, yeah, or entering the 60 zone as soon as we leave the platform this side, so. There you go, we are in the 60 zone now. Did not take into account the fact that we were heading towards a 1 in 100 downhill section. So yeah, we certainly needed to brake a bit lively. So the settle is now less than 10 miles away. Still gaining speed with 25% braking on, although once the hydropneumatic brakes kick in, then it's going to be a very different story. Yeah, there you go. So we do have another station coming up. Horton in Ribblesdale. That must be the last station before Settle. Start getting our speed down, get it down to low 40s. The fact that we're on this downhill section still, and it's still 1 in 100, yeah, we are having a brake a lot earlier than normal. Another fairly short platform. I don't know if we will be able to get the whole train on this one. It looks good. Yeah, I managed it quite easily. So yeah, Horton in Ribblesdale, which yeah, by village standards, especially along this route, looks a fair size place. Yeah. Not a huge amount on this side, but yeah, as you go down more into the valley, we'll stick to the routine. There we go. Right, and we can go straight into full power because yeah, we're on a 60 mph zone. just caught it. And there. Now this downhill section does continue for a while, but I don't think it's going to be quite this steep for too much longer. So we're on level ground for the moment. Yeah, we're now back on the 1 in 100 downhill. Now, yeah, okay, it was 1 in 200 briefly, but we're now back to 1 in 100 again. In fact, looking at it, I've overall feeling it's going to be like this pretty much from here to Settle. So, Settle station is coming up, and yep, it is pretty much downhill all the way. Take you down to low 40s. pretty sure we can get the whole train on here. We've managed it with every other station so far, and yeah, we've done it here as well. So there we are. That was Carlisle to settle in a class 222, which at no point ever even reached 50% of its top speed. It's a fantastic route, it really is. If you like your scenic routes, this is absolutely essential. And it is a fantastic loco, but this is not a fantastic combination. So let's see how he did. I've got speeding errors galore on this run, didn't I? 4 times. Okay, actually I thought it was a lot more than that, so I will take that. So yeah, there we go. Hopefully the class 222 will get the chance to appear in a video where it can actually show you what it can do. So it's 125 mph capable high speed train. Yeah, obviously you would never see one of these on this line, not least because yeah, 60 mph is the limit. I thought it might actually get up as high as 70, but nope. So yeah, great route, great loco, but don't combine the two because yeah, you're not able to get up to any kind of speed whatsoever. So there we go, that is this one done, and we will see you at the next one.